Hello, friends. I'm so excited to be talking with you again today. This is the Welcome Home podcast. I'm your host, Madeline, and many of you might know that today is April 20th, 2020, aka 420, aka Marijuana Day. And many of you might know I'm a pretty big marijuana smoker. Not saying that that is something to be proud of. I'm actually trying to work on cutting down my consumption of marijuana, but that is besides the point. It is still 420, and we will today be talking a little bit about how to smoke weed with intention. It's pretty simple though, because if you know how intention works, you know how to put intention onto things. So what I like to do when I smoke is just feel into the moment, let myself feel into the moment. What is it that I'm trying to get out of this sesh? Am I trying to get more creative so I can paint or draw? Am I trying to relax so I can go to sleep or take a nap? Am I trying to elevate my mood and my energy so that I can go out into the world with my friends and have a great day, go on a bike ride, something like that? I love to try to infuse my sessions with as much intention as possible. I feel like it really allows me to come out of the high, or I shouldn't say come out of the high, like be in the high, like enjoy the high more and feel like it has more of a purpose. But like I said, I am working on cutting back my consumption, and that is because I have smoked weed for quite a few years now without taking a significant break. And I just think that it's time for me to experiment with what my brain can do without the influence of marijuana, whether or not there's intention in it. There is no such thing as good or bad in my mind, so I don't think smoking is good or bad. I just think that right now in the moment, that's what I feel like doing. So I actually haven't even smoked yet today, even though it is the holiday for smoking. I might later. I kind of told myself, once what I've paid for is done, I will really cut back. And I truly do think that this won't be too hard for me. I don't ever drink alcohol. I rarely drink alcohol. I'm good at staying away from that. I'm vegan. I don't have problems with telling myself, no, you can't have this. And it's not even that I'm not letting myself, like I can't have it. It's just I'm choosing to not indulge in something at the moment. So I don't think it'll be too hard for me to tell myself not to smoke. I've actually been just naturally kind of staying away from it when I wake up in the morning. It used to be something I kind of looked forward to, like wake and bake, and now I like to wait till the afternoon to start smoking. And I think that's a good practice for a lot of people because it can kind of fog up your morning routine. And that's what I also wanted to talk about in this podcast was kind of my morning routine, my nighttime routine, rituals, things that I practice throughout the day to keep my vibes high, to keep my dream state. What's the word you should use for that? Like, we don't have any control over our dream state, but like, I don't have a lot of nightmares and I remember my dreams pretty often. I come out of my sleep feeling really refreshed and like a lot of times like I went somewhere. I have dreams so often that I'm like on a plane or a train and I travel places all the time. Yeah, not a lot of nightmares. So I don't know if my nighttime routine really helps that. Like, who knows? But I think it does. And I think my nighttime routine helps me set up my morning routine. I also think right now with this pandemic, sometimes I get really stressed if I look at the media for too long And I think a lot of the things I've been practicing that I'm going to share with you are really helpful to kind of like relieve that stress. And also, I think that they help me in receiving more light codes. And if you don't know about the idea of light codes, they're basically just high frequency messages of divine guidance that are designed specifically for you. It may feel like a deep realization, like something you've known, but maybe it sinks deeper this time and you recognize it in a different way. You're aware of it in a different way. And maybe it felt like it came to you from an outside source. I think a lot of times light codes really make me more comfortable with myself, love myself more able to just be aware and love all that is around me. So let's get into it. In the morning, so like I said, I haven't been smoking in the morning. If you're a morning smoker, go for it. But definitely try to put your intention into your smoke, an intention for the day. And I actually meant to start with the nighttime routine. I don't know if I said morning on accident, but at night, the first thing I like to do if I am planning on showering that night, you know how we girls are, we don't always showering. It's a kind of a thing, especially when you got like a lot of hair. So if I shower at night, I do that right away because I like to let my hair dry before I go to bed. But I think the best thing to do in the shower is to just like imagine the light or the water as light pouring over you. Just kind of like cleansing you before you go to bed, just like cleansing all your energy. And as you're imagining the light water pouring through your whole body, you can just kind of call your energy back to you, like, all of my energy is within me. I own all my energy. No outside energy is within me. I release all outside energy. Things like that. I also love to make my own. This is just a little side note. I like to make my own shampoo and like conditioner out of like oils and soaps and things I have around the house. It's pretty easy to Google this stuff, and then you don't have to waste plastic bottles and use all the weird stuff that's in shampoos. Just a little tip there. I also like to drink some bedtime tea. I've really noticed lately, if I don't drink my bedtime tea, I truly don't sleep as well. I love having warm like lavender chamomile tea in my belly before I go to bed. And I also really like to kind of like hold my tea and think about it as divine love and light. And as I sip it, I'm sipping in divine love and light, and that then becomes me. And that's awesome because I want to be love and light. So we drink our love and light before bed. And then I always, after I drink my tea, brush my teeth, brush my hair, scrape my tongue, things like that. I really love to scrape my tongue. Makes my mouth feel clean. If you don't have one, maybe look into it. After that, I come into my little sacred space. I like to take an incense or some like an essential oil burner, and as I'm lighting it, or the essential oil burner, like kind of setting up the water and the oils and the candle, I like to put the intention of calling in my angels and my guides. So I'll kind of just say out loud, like, I call in my angels and guides. I offer this incense or this essential oil. I offer this to my angels and guides, and I ask them to be with me in this time and space. I turn on my salt rock lamp. I light candles and each candle I light, I say, with each candle I light, more love and light enters the room. Things like that. It's just good to say things out loud. You don't have to say the same thing every time or say the same thing I'm saying. You can personalize that for yourself. But I just really like to set the mood in the room, get everything really peaceful. It just helps your soul and your body kind of like understand what you're about to do instead of just like hopping into a meditation. And then even before I'll like meditate, I'll grab my journal, write down my intentions for the next day, write down anything that I want to remember, think about from the day before. I like to ask for certain things to come to me or to happen like within my dream state. Like I ask that I will be conscious in my dream state. I will learn something in my dream state. I will remember my dreams. I will like just things like that, just to kind of like promote my conscious mind to be more active in my dreams, because I want to make another separate podcast on that once I learn a little bit more. But I've read a few books, about just like the power of your dreams and the time before you go to bed and as you're waking up. And it's very powerful times with the like mode that your brain is in. It's really cool to learn about, and I just really try to play around with it and, ask my reality to show me more of my dream state so that I can discover more parts of myself. So after I kind of journal for a little bit, I'll sit and do like a little meditation. It doesn't have to be long. I try to meditate once or twice a day, so you can personalize that as you wish, but I like to do either just like a quiet meditation before bed with no sound, or I'll turn on like one that promotes sleep, like a sleep meditation. And then I like to just kind of stretch out my body a little bit after I meditate, just to like release any leftover tension that may be in a certain part of my body. Usually it's like my shoulders or my legs. I'll just kind of like pull on them, do a couple little stretches before I jump in bed. But even before I jump in bed, I hope this doesn't seem like too many steps for you guys, because really this is all so simple. Simple things. The biggest part is just putting the intention into it and staying committed to it. So next, before I'm like laying in my bed, I like to wave my little piece of selenite over my pillow and just, once again, thank my angels for being with me in my dreams, thank my bed for existing to give me a wonderful place to sleep. I love to thank objects that are in my life, because I believe that objects are an extension of me. So I like to do that. I think it's really helpful for my overall happiness and state of positivity. So I wave my selenite over my pillow like that, spray a little like essential oil mix on it. And then as I'm like laying in bed, falling asleep, like right before, like, as you're getting like really, really tired, me and my boyfriend will either, if you have like a partner, you can do this together. You look at each other and you just say affirmations to each other. Like I know what my boyfriend, like I know what type of affirmations he likes to hear. So I say those to him. He knows what I like to hear, so he says them to me. If he's already sleeping, I'll kind of just say them to myself quietly so I don't wake him up. I like to just say a couple affirmations before bed, or like just journal them, before my meditation. That's always an option too. You can journal however you want. Everyone has, excuse me, their own journaling tendencies. So that's my little like before bed routine rituals that get me set up for the next day. And then in the morning, I do the same thing not the same thing, but as I'm waking up, I like to try to visualize my dream, like my dream life. So I like to imagine that I'm in like the house of my dreams, going to the job of my dreams, driving the car of my dreams, feeling the energy of my dreams. And a lot of that has to do with like the feeling of my morals. So like I don't know what job I want to do, but I know that I want to do something that I'm mostly in charge of. I'm having fun doing. I'm with people that I have fun with, and I'm helping people. So those are kind of like, I just like hold that vibration within me. I don't think like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, be an artist, and that's like what I think when I'm waking up, because I don't like to have the expectation. I like to just have the the vibration of what I want, and then allow the universe to bring that to me in whichever form it's going to take. So that's how I start. And I also like to just, write down dreams. If I had any dreams that I remember, I'll write them down, or tell somebody, like text someone if they happen to be in the dream. After that, I always just get up and make tea. This is always the first thing I do. I make my tea because I like to have a little kind of a tea ceremony in the morning. So I get my tea, I go back into my sacred space, light some candles, do the same thing that I did the night before. I light an incense, offer it to my angels and my guides, light candles. And of course, if there's trash in my sacred, not trash, but like my sacred space is close to another space because we don't have a whole lot of space. But so if there's like some dishes or wrappers or anything, I just like clean up really quick. And then I sit down with my tea and clear my thoughts. So I don't look at my phone in the morning. I allow my head to just reboot and for about half an hour. So I just kind of look at my tea, clear my head, focus on my breath, think about the intentions that I like, look at my journal if I can't remember, think about the intentions that I had for the day, think about the feeling that I want to have today, which is usually just like flow and love and fun and productivity and things like that. And I just sit there and kind of like hold my tea and infuse these vibes into my tea. I sip on my tea. I thank my tea. I thank the Mother Earth for giving me water and herbs and all these beautiful things to make this tea that I get to gratefully sip on and drink so often. After that, I like to clear more energy. I mean, yeah, I kind of use this to like clear space or align my chakras. You can put I believe you can put different intentions into so many different actions. So I grab my singing bowl most mornings and I put a certain intention into it, whether it be to clear the space, clear myself, realign my chakras, bring more life source energy into me, bring more creative energy into me, anything like that. I like to play my singing bowl, focus on my breath, focus on my intention, and just play that for a while. It's actually so relaxing. It's like you're practicing while you're practicing meditating. You're like practicing an instrument while you're practicing spirituality. It's fun. I really like it. I like having physical movements to do while I'm like connecting a mental energy to it. Another big thing that really helps me in the morning, especially if it's a morning where I don't have a lot of time to do all of this stuff and maybe I work earlier, and I have to cut, maybe, I have to cut my tea out. Maybe I'm going to drink tea when I get to work. Maybe I have to cut out, my singing bowl. I will really try to make it a priority to listen to a affirmation playlist similar to like my episode 2. A lot of people make videos of saying affirmations and I like to listen to those like as I'm driving to work within like half an hour, hopefully within half an hour of waking up. It doesn't have to be, but that time it really does sink into your brain. So I like to listen to an affirmations thing as if I'm like driving to work. For those of you that may work earlier, that's like a really good tool. Instead of like playing music, maybe play affirmations or some like meditation music. I also love to write down my gratitude in the morning or at night. Usually for me, this happens in the morning. I like to write down all the things I'm grateful for, and usually this is a pretty long list. It takes up about like a whole notebook page, and I like to write down things that I'm grateful for in many different aspects, physical things, energies, people, stuff that I may not even truly have yet, but I'm grateful because I have the trust that it's coming to me and that it will enter my reality. And that is also a way of manifesting it, if you don't know. I also like to start my morning with a good yoga flow. I know right now we don't have yoga studios to go to, but that doesn't mean we should deny ourselves of having that practice. So I personally recorded some of my yoga studio sessions before there was a pandemic because I just kind of thought like maybe one day I'll want to re-listen to this. So I'm super happy I did that because now I can like turn that on and have like a whole class right there in my room, and I can just put my headphones in and listen to my teacher. But if you don't have anything like that, you can, look up YouTube yoga to follow, or just sit by yourself and just practice what just test your own flow and see if your personal flow kind of comes out, and see what moves you remember that feel really good to you, and just kind of do what feels good, roll your neck out, rub your neck, rub your temple, give yourself some self-love in the morning, like give yourself space to just like honor your body. And I always love after I stretch to sing, which sounds kind of silly, but I like to sing this affirmation that many of you may know. It's the Hare Krishna meditation, or not meditation, mantra, sorry. I honestly don't even think it's called just like the Hare Krishna mantra. I think it has an actual name, but I can't think of it right now. So if you Google Hare Krishna mantra, you will find what I'm talking about. But I like to, after I stretch, to sing that to myself a few times because I think it really like moves my energy around and like allows all the intention that I had that I like cultivated in the morning to like release out into the world through my voice, because it is such a powerful meditation or mantra. After that, that's kind of when I start like my human type stuff. I brush my teeth again, scrape my tongue, brush my hair. And it's really important, ladies and gentlemen, not important, but I like to brush my hair really thoroughly, and I don't wash my hair often. So brushing it's pretty important because it distributes the oils all throughout your hair. If you're curious about like other products I use, I'll give you like a quick little rundown because most of the products I use are very natural, organic. I don't like to use things with chemicals in them. I don't like to use anything with a lot of like plastic or waste. So I just use simple Dr. Bronner's castile soap in lavender or rose and cold water to wash my face. I exfoliate with Herbalism from Lush. I really love that face wash, but I know Lush is like closed right now, but I'm sure they do online orders. I don't know. I also use a toner from Lush, and I love to, in the morning I go downstairs and I like when I'm making my tea sometimes or something, I'll grab a banana and I'll eat the banana and I'll rub the peel, because I buy organic bananas. If you don't buy organic bananas, I probably wouldn't rub it on your face, but I rub the inside of the banana peel all over my face because I'm pretty sure it's good for your skin. And then I buy fresh aloe vera leaves and I cut some of that off and I rub that on my face and in my hair as kind of a little like homemade face mask. And then for lotion, I either use Yay for Earth lotion, or I just make my own face lotions out of like jojoba oil, coconut oil, essential oils, things like that. So if you're looking to kind of simplify and clean up your little skincare routine, those are my recommendations. Some other ways that I, excuse me, keep high vibes throughout the day is I set reminders on my phone for things like meditating, stay authentic. Like I have ones on my, like, because we want to remember throughout the day the things that we try to integrate that morning. We set all these mantras for a reason. We meditate and stretch and, play affirmations and put our intentions into our tea for a reason. So it gets easy sometimes once you start going on your day to forget about all of that. So I like to just put reminders in my phone that say things like, be authentic, do not judge others or yourself, you're part of the divine, every day is a blessing, stuff like just anything that connects to you and brings you a little more joy, or like a reminder to be that best version of yourself. I think anything that you resonate with is that's just a great way. Just having reminders, because it just pops up. Like, we're looking at our phones all the time. It just pops up on your phone. You read it, and boom, in that moment, because every moment is its very own moment. Every moment is fleeting. Just because one moment was one way doesn't mean the next moment has to be the same way. And if that little reminder can completely switch a moment for you, then it's worth it. Sometimes it gets a little annoying having them pop up on my phone all the time. But honestly, the amount of times that it's like turned my day around is so much more worth it than like getting rid of them just because they maybe like annoy me a little bit. But it's not even like that annoying. I shouldn't even really say that. Um, and another thing I like to do is like, if there's a mantra that really stuck out to me in the morning, I try to keep that as like a daily mantra, and I'll like add that to my reminders that day. Or if I forget to do that, I'll just try to like, whenever I think about it or have like, like you catch, like when you start being aware that your thoughts are just like you're not being aware of them, and then you start being aware of them, and then you're like, oh, right, okay, and then you just repeat your mantra to yourself over and over again, like, I am thriving, I am thriving, I am thriving, I am thriving, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. And then you remember it, and then you just say it whenever you notice those like spaces in your consciousness that aren't thinking of anything. Just start saying your mantra and just watch it manifest different energies into your day. It's pretty cool. And honestly, it can just like turn your mood around, because it helps you remember that you are that, and that you do control your reality, and your awareness is your power. I try to also, a really good way to keep your vibes high, keep your, you know, energy good throughout the day, keep a positive mindset. Thank Like I said earlier, I thank my bed because it is an extension of me. Everything you experience is an extension of you. So thank those things. I like to, as I'm leaving my work, thank the building, thank the space for holding this space for me to have a job and to meet, other people that I connect with. I thank the space for that, along with obviously thanking my boss and everything. I just like to thank the space. I like to thank my bedroom for existing to give me a private space. I like to thank my yoga studio after I leave it for giving me a space to practice, along also, of course, with my yoga teacher. I thank that. I thank my car. I thank, everything like that. It's just a great practice to get into. It helps just keep your mindset positive for long periods of time. And I also like to thank, so the biggest part about pretty much all of these rituals and routines is the commitment to it, consistently doing these things. But I don't want anyone to think that, I'm perfect and do these things every day, or that if you don't do it consistently or constantly every day, that it doesn't matter. Because like I said, each moment is its own moment. What happens in each moment matters. Yet if you start doing this and aren't consistent with it, don't get upset with yourself. Don't judge yourself, because it's okay. We're only humans. And if you don't feel called to do something right at that moment, that's okay. Like, these are just kind of like bases of things that allow your soul to feel like that alignment that you are truly, that's always within you. You're always truly aligned, even if you don't feel aligned. And these things just kind of help me feel the alignment. But don't get upset with yourself. Don't get discouraged if you lose your consistency. It still is making a difference, and it's okay to not be perfect. So just don't judge yourself, because nobody's perfect, and you don't want to let your ego convince you that it's not worth doing these things because you're not able to be consistent at it. It's still worth trying. It's still worth making an effort, and it's still worth personalizing your very own rituals and routines to fit your lifestyle. So, another thing that I like to try to do is bless the food I eat, express my gratitude for the food and bless it with love and light, because we're consuming that. And I think that what you're putting into your body should be infused with like love and light and intention. But like I said, I forget to do that pretty often, and I try not to beat myself up for it, because I've been trying to make it a habit to bless my food for a few months now, but I've never learned to do that growing up. So it's been a whole 20 years, of a habit that I'm now trying to change into a new habit. So yeah, it's difficult. And that's why it's difficult to make these things habits, to make morning and nighttime rituals habits, because a lot of us haven't been taught to do that for many different reasons. So just even just having the intention of creating a morning and night ritual or routine, that's exactly where it starts. Just having the intention. It doesn't have to be perfect at first. It takes a long time to get to the point of really doing these things consistently. But I think with more and more practice, it is truly such a powerful thing that you can integrate into your life. And I just really hope that you guys got something out of this that you find useful. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope you maybe toke on some weed if that's what you like to do. Just always remember to follow your heart. If you feel resistant, question your resistance. Just have the intention of expanding your awareness, and your awareness will expand. And awareness is our personal power. And yeah, I'm just so happy to have gotten to talk with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this. Love and light.